definitely in maths. So mathematics is something, if you don't know mathematics, rest of the branches of science will be like paralyzed branches. Okay, so you must have a command on mathematics, even for those who are applying for NEET, and if they are not willing to take maths as their 11th and 12th subject, they must study these concepts of mathematical tools properly at least. Okay, so see how these lectures will be conducted. This is the usual sequence we follow. First we write topics to be covered. So these are the topics we are going to cover in first unit. What are those topics? What are those topics? The first topic is introduction. We will see why we are studying mathematical tools and what are the tools we will study. Next, we will study first tool, functions. We will study measurement of angles and unit conversion. I hope parallelly you are writing it. We will study measurement of angles and unit conversion. Then we will study what is basic trigonometric functions. We will study next trigonometric functions of values other than 90 degree. In fact, it should be other than or greater than 90 degrees. Next, we will learn trigonometric identities and compound angle formula. Next, differentiation. Next, rules of derivatives. Rules of derivatives. Next, derivatives of variable functions. Now, here onward, you have not heard many things. This differentiation, for the first time we will be discussing. Rules of derivatives, definitely you don't know. Derivatives of various functions. So in fact, after this trigonometric identities, whatever you are going to learn will be completely new. Okay. Next, applications of derivatives. Why we will learn derivative? Because we have some applications of it. Next, anti-derivatives. It is not and derivatives, it is anti-derivative. Anti-derivative. Okay, the process which is just opposite to derivative is called as antiderivative. This differentiation itself is called as derivatives. Derivatives. Okay, antiderivatives or indefinite integration. Antiderivative is also called as integration or indefinite integration. Next, rules for integration we will study. Okay, rules for integration. Then we will study definite integral, and finally something which we will be using throughout 2 years in physics, vectors and algebra of vectors. Vectors and algebra of vectors. Okay, so I hope all of you have copied topics to be covered. Have you copied it? As this is first class, I am asking again and again because you are not habitual of online classes. Have you copied it? Have you copied topics to be covered? Okay. If you have seen a garage, or if you have gone to service your two-wheeler or car, okay, car, to a car mechanic, you can see this car mechanic has many tools or many devices, and those tools he uses to correct your car or to service the car. To service the car, he uses many tools. Okay, he uses many tools. Like we have hammer, we have spanner, screwdrivers. All these tools you have seen, your parents might be using it for some domestic application, or you might have seen some electricians soldering gun. There are many tools which we use. Now those tools we are using to in our daily life to reduce our efforts. Similarly, when we learn science, okay, when we learn science, in particular physics, when we learn physics, we need some mathematical tools to reduce our efforts and to study physics more effectively. Okay, hence one quote is written here: mathematics is the language of physics. It becomes easier to describe, understand and apply the physical principle, okay, if one has good knowledge of mathematics. So if you have a good knowledge of mathematics, it becomes very easy for you to understand, describe and apply the physical principle. So there are various tools. Three most important tools which we will be discussing today are differentiation, integration and vectors. Today means in this unit we will be discussing three most important tools: differentiation, integration and vectors. However, there are few other tools also we will be discussing, like functions, trigonometry, trigonometry and vectors. Vectors already I have written. So we will be studying functions, trigonometry. Okay. There are some other tools like linear and quadratic equations. Which we have included in mathematics syllabus. Okay. Fine. Don't worry about these notes. After this class you will be getting one PDF file of class notes. So you will be having everything in it. See, only having tools will not make you a great mechanic. Suppose if you want to cut a simple string, see what this fellow is doing. He is using this axe to cut the simple string. If you have any thread in your house, will you use a blade to cut that thread or will you use a big knife to cut that thread? You will be using blade. Similarly, if you want to chop or cut the tree, okay, if you want to use or want to cut the tree, will you use axe or will you use blade? You can't use this simple blade, right? Shaving blade can you use to cut the trees? No. So both these fellows, they have tools but they don't know where to use it exactly. So learning mathematical tools is important, but equally what is important, how and where to use them. Have you understood? Okay. So now let's start with the discussion of the first tool. First tool what we will have here in this unit. The first tool what we will have is function. Okay. Please copy this definition. I will explain you this definition. Function is a rule of relationship between two variables. Function is a rule of relationship between two variables in which one is assumed to be dependent, and other independent variables. Just copy it, don't worry about meaning of it. I'll explain you that meaning. I'll give you 2 minutes. Please copy this everything, and once it is copied or once it is done, please type done in your chat box. Okay, copy it. Take 2 minutes and copy that definition. Now let's see what a function is. What is function? Function is basically a rule of relationship between two variables. Okay. Let's see, in order to describe something, I am using two variables. Okay, x and y. Suppose I am describing two variables x and y. Like last year, you have learnt current electricity. You had a unit called as current electricity, right? In current electricity, you have learnt Ohm's law as V is equal to IR. Have you learnt Ohm's law or not? Okay, so if you have learnt Ohm's law, in that Ohm's law, V and I, okay, were known as variables. Why they were known as variables? Because value of voltage one changes, value of other. So in short, both the values are changing. but this R used to be constant because V by I was equal to R. So what we used to do in order to describe electricity phenomenon, we used to plot a graph between voltage and current. Plot a graph between voltage and current. So in order to describe anything, okay, we may require at least two variables. Now a relationship between those two variables, suppose if I am using x and y are two variables, so I will be having relationship between x and y in such a manner that one is assumed to be dependent and the other is independent variable. Okay, for example, if I have a relationship like y is equal to x square, what is meaning of this? If I substitute x value as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc., I will be getting corresponding value for y, because y is equal to x square. So put x is equal to 1, 1 square is 1, right? Then put x is equal to 2, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, etc., etc. So in this case we are selecting x value and we are getting y value, right? Getting y value. On selection of x value we are getting y value. So in this case we say y depends on x, but x is independent. You can choose any value for x, independently, and once you choose that value of x, accordingly y value will be varying. Okay, hence I will say y is a function of x. So this is the meaning of the definition. Function is a rule of relationship between two variables in such a manner that one is assumed to be independent and other is independent variable. Okay, now here also one more example is given. For example, the temperature at which water boils depends on elevation above sea level. The boiling point drops as you ascend. Suppose if you are boiling water here at sea level in Sindhudurga, let's say temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. You go up and you go to Nepal, which is let's say 2500 feet and even more feet above the sea level. There you may have 90 degrees Celsius as boiling point. So water boils in Sindhudurga at 100 degrees Celsius. There it boils at 90 degrees Celsius. So boiling point of a water is function of altitude, or if I represent this height from sea level is h. So boiling temperature is a function of h. This is the way I write it. How I read it? Temperature or boiling temperature is function of h. Okay, h is altitude. Similarly, here in this case, the example which I have given, you can write y is a function of x. Okay, y is function of, see this f represents function, y is function of x, fine. So this is the basic meaning of the function. So one more example was given there, that the interest paid on the cash invested depends on the length of the time and the investment is held. Okay, so basically you have to understand, if I have to express y is a function of x, I write it as y is f of x. So y Okay, then equal to okay, f stands for what? Function, and then in bracket I write of x, that is x. Simply I write x. How I write it? How I read it? Y is equal to f of x. Y is equal to f of x. What do you mean by y is equal to f of x? Y is a function of x. Y is a function of x. Now in this case, x is called as independent variable. X is called as what? Independent variable. And y is called as what? Y is called as dependent variable, because you can choose values of x 1, 2, 3, dot 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 dot. Accordingly, you will be getting y values. Dependent variable. Y is dependent. Okay. So have you understood basic concept of functions? Have you understood basic concept of functions? Yes or no? So if y is equal to f of x is written, you can observe this diagram, and you can draw this diagram in your notebook. How is this diagram? X is input, f is the function, and f of x, which is nothing but y, is called as output. It's called as output. So function is actually machine to take x as input and give you y as output. Function is actually a machine, you can say, which takes x as the input and y as the output. Now when a valid function y is equal to f of x we are defining, we select various values for x, right? Various values of x. We select various values of x. All these values of x, what we select from, are called as domain of a function. Okay, domain of a function. All possible values of x. X means independent variable. Variable are called as domain. Y is equal to x square. I have chosen x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So dot 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 till infinity I can select, right? All these values are called as domain of this function. Okay. Now according to these domain values, you will keep on getting y values as 1, 4, 9, 16, dot 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 dot, dot infinity. Yes or no? So these values of y, all possible values of y for given values of x, are called as a range of a function. What they are called as? Range of a function. Okay, range of a function. Fine. So overall, I hope you have copied whatever is necessary, because these notes we will be giving you. So don't worry if you miss something. Don't get panic. Okay. So overall, I can say, in a summary of function, I can say, first, it is relationship between variables, right? It is relationship between variables. Now usually we denote two variables as x and y. In that, x we denote as independent variable and y we denote as dependent variable. Okay, but you can even have x as dependent and y as independent. It's fine, possible. You have function y is equal to f of x where x is independent, y is dependent. You can also have function like x is function of y where y is independent, x is dependent. So both are possible. Independent variable values, you can choose any value. Based on those values, value of dependent variable will change. So second point you have to remember is how to represent the function. How to represent the function. So y is equal to function of x where this is independent and this is dependent variable. Okay, dependent variable. Fine. Number 3 you have to remember is what you have to remember is all possible values of x in this case, or all possible values of independent variable what they are called as? They are called as domain. And all possible values of y or dependent variable are called as what? They are called as range. Okay, they are called as range. So for example, you can write y is equal to 3x square is one function, or x is equal to 3y plus 8 is also a function where x is a function of y, and here y is given as function of x. Okay, fine. So please copy this summary, and once you copy this summary, please text me done it. Whatever you learn, we will try to apply it. Okay, immediately. Let's see this problem. Please copy this question. The question says the volume V of a ball, solid sphere of radius r is given by the function V of r is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 by 3 pi r cube. Hence, what is volume at radius 3? What is volume at radius 3? Copy all this. See what they have given, the volume of a ball. So this is a solid ball, okay, kept on any surface. So it's a 3D sphere. So this volume of a sphere, if I am taking one more sphere whose radius is bigger, okay, r dash, whose volume is more? Volume of this ball is more, because volume of a sphere is function of radius r. This is first of all you have to understand. Second thing is, what is that function now? This is a general definition, but the function says volume at any value r. See, volume at certain value of r. This is not V into r. This is volume at radius r. Volume at radius r is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. That means if r is equal to r1, you can say volume at radius r1 is equal to 4 by 3 pi R1 cube. Instead of R, you have to substitute R1. Similarly, if R is equal to R2, this will become volume of R2 is equal to 4 by 3 pi R2 cube. So now they are asking you what is volume when R is equal to 3 meter. Write the formula. Substitute the volume. What value will be substituting? R is equal to 3 meters. So it is 4 by 3 pi into 3 cube. Tell me what is your answer. Get the answer and type it in your chat box. Come on, what is your answer? See, volume will be 4 by 3 into pi into 3 cube is 3 into 3 into 3, right? Which is nothing but 27. So I'll substitute 27 here. 3 ones are 3, 3 nines are 27. Okay. So I'll be having 36 pi as the answer. If I substitute pi is equal to 3.14, can you tell me the answer? Gunesh, calculate and tell me what is the value of volume at 3 meter. We got 36 pi, but substitute pi is equal to 3.14 and tell me what is the answer. Step ahead. So shall we go for next problem? I hope you understood this problem and we will go for next problem. Yeah, copy this next question. Please copy this next question. Example 2. This problem. So what this question is saying, suppose that the function f is defined for all real numbers. I hope you are aware of the real numbers. Okay, what are real numbers and what are imaginary numbers? So they are defining function f of r is equal to 2r minus 1 plus 3. 2r minus 1 plus 3 equal to 2 into r minus 1 plus 3. They are asking you to find out evaluate function at input values 0 to x plus 2 and f of 2. Okay, 0 to x plus 2 and f of 2. So they are asking you to find out value of this function at input 0 to x plus 2 and f of 2. Okay, f of 2. Now first of all, after writing the function, you understood here we have f is a function of what? R. So here R is independent variable, and this f value what we will be getting is actually a dependent variable, right? Dependent variable. So if you want to find the answers, first answer function is same, f of r is equal to 2r minus 1 plus 3. For first you have to substitute r is equal to 0. Okay, first you have to substitute r is equal to 0. So tell me, when you will substitute r is equal to 0, well, what is value? Number 1. If you substitute r is equal to 0, what is value of number 1? Be quick. You should not spend this much time. When you will substitute r is equal to 0, what is value of f? We can write this is f of 0, 2 into 0 minus 1 plus 3. So this will become minus 2 plus 3. See, 0 minus 1 is how much? Minus 1. So minus 2 plus 3 is how much? plus 1. What are the answers you have typed? Let me see. Now can you tell me value for r is equal to 2 at f of 2? 2 into r minus 1 plus 3. So substitute r is equal to 2 and tell me what is value. Let's see how many of you can answer me for the third question. Gaukar. Third answer. Third, they are asking you value of x plus 2. So what do you think? What will be the answer? 2x plus 5, you got the answer. How we have solved it, or how we can solve it? Here they are asking you what is value of the function if r is equal to x plus 2. So f of x plus 2 we have to calculate. If it is so, it is 2 into x plus 2 minus 1 plus 3, that is 2 into x plus 2 minus 1 will become x plus 1 plus 3. Okay, this step I will continue here. So it is 2x plus 2 plus 3, that is 2x plus 5. This is the answer. So both of you got correct answer. Now tell me what is final answer. Be quick. So in this case, what they are asking actually, can you tell me what they are asking? They are asking f of 2. F of 2. They are asking you evaluate f at the input value 0, 2, x plus 2 and f of 2. Right? So are they asking f of 2? No, they are not asking f of 2. They are asking value of function at value f of 2. Now, have you calculated f of 2 already? You have calculated f of 2 already. You know what is the value of f of 2. So substitute r is equal to that value. And tell me what is the answer. Okay, I'll solve it here. That part only. See what they are asking. They are asking you what is value of function f of r is equal to 2 into r minus 1 plus 3 at r is equal to f of 2. Now already we have got value of function at r is equal to 2, that is f of 2 we got already. If we got f of 2, what is that value of f of 2? Do you remember? Or you can again find it out. It is f of 2 is equal to 2 into 2 minus 1 plus 3, that is 2 plus 3, that is 5. So f of 2 is nothing but 5. Now I want to find out f of 5, because this 5 is nothing but f of 2. Okay, this is function of a function, or the value of r you have to substitute is nothing but value of f of 2. So 2 into 5 minus 1 plus 3. What is the answer? For y is equal to f of x, where f of x is 3x square plus 2x. Okay, find values of y, that is f of x for x is equal to minus 3 plus 3 minus 4 plus 4. Okay, this is question number 1. This is question number 1. Okay, now homework number 2 is please copy this question for homework. It is not part of your notes. F of x is equal to x square plus 3. Find f of 0, f of 1, f of x square, f of x plus 1 and f of 1 and f of 1. Copy this question. Certain amount of time. So first thing what we have to learn in trigonometry is measurement of angle and relationship between degrees and radian. Okay. Now in navigation and astronomy, angles are always measured in degrees because it has its own convenience. But in calculus, it is best to use unit called as radians. Now, what do you mean by these radians? Okay, and how we are going to simplify it, that we will study. But before that, suppose I have a point P, and from point P, one arrow is drawn. Let's say PQ bar, PQ, and from point P again, PM is drawn. If you keep a protractor, if you want to measure this angle theta, what do? You keep protractor here in such a manner that at P you will be having exactly, okay, this point, starting point, and then you measure the angle in anti-clockwise manner. So this anti-clockwise angle what we measure in this case is considered as positive angle. It's considered as positive angle. Okay. Suppose if we measure the angle in clockwise manner with reference to this line, if we measure it in clockwise manner with reference to this line, it will be, so we will call this clockwise measured angle as negative angle. So always remember, in whatever manner we will go, we will consider anti-clockwise positive. Okay, anti-clockwise measured angle is positive and clockwise angle is negative. Okay, this is the first thing you should learn. Next thing what we are saying here, when you were measuring when we were measuring angles earlier, in this case we used to measure it like 10 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree, etc., etc. Okay, then all of a sudden from class 10th onwards, okay, you started using a lot this term called as pi. Pi is also actually a notation or certain value of angle, right? Because even though you don't know what is this, what is radian and all, you know one thing, that 90 degrees sometimes is referred as pi by 2, provided if you have learned it. Okay, otherwise anyway we will be learning it. So for angle we have two units. For angle we have two units. For angle we have two units. What are those two units? One unit of an angle is degree, which is used in navigation and astronomy, as I said, but in calculus and physics basically. But in physics, most of the times we will be using unit called as radian. What will be using? Radian. Now, how they are interrelated? How they are interrelated? Now, see, there are these units are like two different units altogether. For example, you have a unit of length as feet also, that is length is measured in foot also, and length is also measured in meter, centimeter and millimeter also, right? So these two are different units, different unit systems unit. Similarly, angle can be measured in degree, same angle also can be measured in radians. Okay. Now see, in order to understand what is this radian measurement, okay, we have to understand first of all this circle. Okay, so a question is coming to your mind, what is radian measure of an angle? What is radian measure? This is the question coming to your mind. For that you have to understand, I have a circle as shown in the figure, and its center is C. Its center is C. It has, let's say, 2 points on the circumference A and B, A and B, and in anti-clockwise manner, that is positive angle measured is theta. Between CA and CB, angle measured is theta, radius is R. Okay, we have learnt in geometry, from basic geometry, geometry from this basic geometry we know this theta, which is angle subtended by an arc AB. Okay, this arc is AB. Okay, and angle made by this arc at the center is theta. Okay, AB is an arc of a circle, and angle made by that arc is theta. And from geometry, do you know what, how we relate it? We say length of arc AB is equal to R, that is radius time the angle made by that arc. This formula is very important. You have learnt it in geometry, in circles. So please copy this formula, that length of arc AB, L of AB. See, now you are understanding. We know how to write f of x. So length and bracket AB means L of AB. Length of AB is equal to R, which is radius, and theta, which is angle, right? Theta, which is angle. So can you tell me, can I write theta is equal to length of AB divided by R? Yes, I can. Definitely, it's a simple mathematics. If R is equal to 1, then what will be theta value? It will be length of AB. It will be length of AB. Okay, it will be length of AB. Now what we consider while defining radian measurement, why I explained you about this circle is, now we will read the definition and then I'll explain you. The radian measure for a circle of a unit radius means R is equal to 1. If you have a circle whose radius is equal to 1, AB is defined to be the length of the circumference, length of the circular arc AB. Length of the circular arc AB. Since the circumference of the circle is 2 pi and one complete revolution of the circle is 360 degree. One complete revolution is 360 degree. The relation between radians and the degrees is given by pi radians is equal to 180. Now, while reading, you might be feeling it is very difficult, but believe me, it is not that difficult. Okay, what we are saying, how to relate, how to relate degree and radian and radian. Before we actually relate this degree and radian, okay, draw a circle. A is a point here, B is a point here, and this is angle theta. Okay, this is angle theta, this is C, and write R is equal to 1. Draw this circle. Draw this circle, and after drawing that circle, please write whether you have drawn it or not. We know theta is equal to length of AB by R. Now this we know by the basic geometrical relation. Length of AB is equal to what? R theta. So if R is equal to 1, length of AB is equal to theta, right? Length of AB is equal to theta. Now suppose I consider one point here, let's say P, and I go around the circle and again come back to here. What is the total angle? What is that total angle? That total angle, again I am considering, let's say that total angle I am denoting by angle of a circle. Angle of a circle. The total angle of a circle must be equal to R is radius is equal to total length of the arc. What is total length of the arc? When I am taking total angle, I have to consider total length of the arc. Total length of the arc is nothing but what? Perimeter of the circle, right? Perimeter of the circle. Are you understanding? Perimeter of the circle. Okay. So, angle of circle is equal to R into what is perimeter of circle? 2 pi r. Okay, how we write perimeter of circle? 2 pi r. So I can write it as 2 pi r square. 2 pi r square. So angle of circle is equal to 2 pi r square. Now I'll ask you a question. I'll ask you a question that what is the total angle of a circle in degrees? Can you tell me what is total angle of a circle in degrees? Come on. So total angle of a circle is 360 degree. So I can write 360 degree is equal to 2 pi r square. But here what we assumed? Already we have assumed r is equal to 1. So this r square is also equal to 1 and I will get 360 degree is equal to 2 pi. Now this measurement of angle, okay, in terms of pi is radian measurement. So we got a relationship 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degrees, or can I say pi radians is equal to 180 degrees? Yes or no? Pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Understood? Have you understood relationship between radians and degrees? So we got a relation pi radians is equal to 180 degrees, right? or I can say, or I can say 1 degree is equal to 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radians. Pi by 180 radians, right? So this could be, this is the basic formula, this is illustration 1, or I can even say, or I can even say 1 radian, 1 radian is equal to, is equal to 180 divided by pi degrees. Okay, so always remember this, if you calculate it will come somewhere around 57 degrees. 1 radians is how much? 57 degrees. So radian is a bigger unit as compared to degree. 1 radian is 57 degree and 1 degree is approximately 0.02 radians. 1 degree is 0.02 radians. Okay, so overall when we have to convert, I have to just remember two important formulae. First formula is, when I am converting from degree to radians, I should multiply it by multiply by pi by 180, pi by 180. And when I am converting from radians to degrees, just we have to multiply by 180 by pi. So in order to avoid confusion, this relation you should remember, as pi radians is equal to 180 degree, 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radians, or 1 radian is equal to 180 by pi degrees. So degree to radians multiply by pi by 180. Okay, you can remember radian is bigger unit. Radian is bigger unit. So answer of radian should be answer of radian while converting to degrees. Listen carefully. Radian to degrees, when you are converting, answer should be bigger, and degree to radians when you are converting, answer should be smaller. So you can remember degree to radians multiply by pi by 180, and radians to degree multiply it by 180 by pi. Is it clear with you? Shall we go? First problem is convert 45 degrees to radians. Okay, so here they have given theta is equal to 45 degrees. No, while converting from degree to radians, what we do? Multiply it by pi by 180. So theta in radian is equal to theta in degrees multiplied by 180. So theta in degrees is 45 into pi by 180. So 45, 4. So answer will be pi by 4 radians. 45 degrees is how much? Pi by 4 radians. Yes or no? Question number 2. Convert degree to radian. Again, A 30 degree, B 60 degree, C 90 degree. Yes. Can you give me your answer? Tell me what is answer for first one. Athar has answered for one. Ganesh. What is your first answer? 30 degree. Okay, Ganesh has answered for all the three. Come on, Atar, you have to answer. Third question. 720 degrees. You have to convert it from degree to radian once again. Tell me what is answer. 720 degrees. 720 degrees. 720 degrees. Green. So for 720 degrees, if I am converting it to radians, 720 multiplied by pi by 180. So 180, okay, 180 into 4 is 720. So answer is 4 pi. Okay, answer is 4 pi. Now let's solve next question, where the next question what I'll ask you to solve is convert pi by 6 radians to degrees. Then 3 pi by 4 radians to degrees. Okay, solve both the questions here and write the answers. Pi by 6 radians and 3 pi by 4 radians. Pi by 6 radians and 3 pi by 4 radians. You have to convert it to degree. Remember, radians to degree, when you are converting, what is the formula? Multiply by 180 by pi. Multiply by 180 by pi. Okay. So give me answer quickly.